In New York, you can do anything. It's an epicenter of media and art, a melting pot of culture, the backbone of world finance, the home of global cooperation, and the place where millions come to realize their dreams. And for some, they come to compete, to test themselves in the world's greatest city. And for one morning in August, the city opens the doors to 4,000 triathletes, to swim where no one swims, to bike where no one bikes, and to run in the heart of the city. For some, this is their livelihood. For others, a goal and a challenge. But for all, this is their passion. This is the Panasonic New York City Triathlon. Welcome to the 2014 Panasonic New York City Triathlon. I'm Dave Ragsdale, along with my broadcast partner, Vic Brumfield. Vic, good morning.
Good morning.
How are we doing?
Doing great.
We've got a big race. The world of triathlon is here in New York City once again. Let's talk a little bit about our start location here on the Hudson River.
Well, we're here at the sports capital of the world here in New York City, and we are starting our triathlon on the Hudson River. It's a gorgeous morning. It's hard to tell. The sun's not quite up yet, but the river's smooth and the current's ready to rip.
And Manhattan will be out there cheering them on, whether they realize there's a triathlon going on or not, right? All of New York is in Central Park this morning.
They'll be cheering or they'll be saying, hey, yo, I'm walking here.
It is New York after all. There are going to be a lot of great inspirational stories. We've got a pro field where it's the battle of the sexes with the equalizer. The girls go first, the guys chase them all the way to the finish line. There's prize money at stake. There's lots going on.
We have a lot of great stories to cover. Stay with us for the next hour. And first, let's take a look at the course.
Today's race will start with a 1,500-meter swim in the Hudson, heading downstream, current aiding the athletes, exiting at 79th Street.
They're on their bike. It's a technical climb out of transition onto the West Side Highway. These athletes ride north on a closed highway all the way up to the Boogie Down Bronx, turning around at the Mosholu Parkway, riding south to Midtown, and right back up to where they started.
Back in transition, athletes head out, crossing 72nd Street, one of the great moments of the run course, heading into the park for a hilly run around the park, finishing back up at 72nd Street.
Getting around New York City is never easy, even when you're swimming, biking, and running. And this is one tough course, but luckily, Dave, we've got the best athletes in the world. Why don't you tell us a little bit about our women's pro field?
Well, the women uniquely, Vic, in the equalizer format, part of the Lifetime Fitness Triathlon Series, the women start first, have a head start, and it's a race to the finish line. Alicia Kay, defending series champ, you can't count her out. Look for her to make her move, not only on the bike, but through to the run. Sarah McClarty, best swimmer in the sport of triathlon, bar none. She'll be blazing the trail in the water. Don't count out Radka Vodakova, the Czech athlete out of ITU's, had great success at all distances, races a lot. And of course, New York's faves, the Wasner sisters, they've won here before, so if you know how to win in New York, you can win almost anywhere.
These men are going to have a tough field of women to chase, so let's hear from them in their own words.
I am Rebecca Wasner. I'm from the United States, and I've won the New York City Triathlon 3 times.
Jillian Peterson, USA, Pan Am Champ 2008.
I'm Laurel Wasner. I'm from the United States. I am the first cancer survivor to win an Ironman triathlon.
I'm Lauren Brandon. I'm from the US. This year I got my first pro win at Memphis in May.
I'm Sarah McClarty. I'm from the United States. I am the 2011 Lifetime Series champion.
My name is Alicia Kay. I represent the United States. My proudest achievement is winning the 2013 Toyota Triple Crown as well as the Lifetime Series. I'm currently leading the Lifetime Series as well as the Toyota Triple Crown, so there's a bit of a bullseye on my back.
The top athletes in the world in this format of racing will be at this race.
We have Alicia Kay, who has been dominating the series, the Wasner twins, who are both phenomenal runners.
We like to say that we are sisters first and competitors second. It is a huge triathlon for me and Beck as New Yorkers.
I was really nervous coming to New York. I'm definitely a small town girl. You gotta be able to ride hills to win the New York City Triathlon for sure.
Luckily, I don't know anything about the Hudson other than people think it's crazy. I'm a swim biker, so I really have to go and try and be ahead from the beginning. I'm really hoping to get a top 5. My goal for New York City Triathlon is top 3.
Well, I go into every race with the goal of winning.
My goal tomorrow is definitely to win. That's why we do this.
Starting off our race today is an impressive group of professional women who've come from all over the world, and I can tell you they may be smiling, but tension is high.
Absolutely. You know, you're right. They give the wave to the crowd as the introductions take place. They come down onto that swim barge. They look like everything's okay, but I can only imagine in their mind they're going through what this day, these 2 hours are going to be like, some very intense competition, not only amongst themselves, but obviously holding off the men in this equalizer format. The girls have got just 10:42 to lead, and that's as much as they're going to have all the way to the finish line down in Central Park. We've got them all on the start barge. The race is about ready to get underway.
Well, and they're going in cold, Dave. There is no swim warm-up here, so it is going to be a shock to the system. As soon as they hit that water, they are going full speed.
And they're off. The Panasonic New York City Triathlon is underway with our women, and they are certainly making their way. A 2 to perhaps 3 knot current pushing them downstream. That will certainly have them out of the water in almost no time.
Absolutely, and they're going to try to stay together here. You could see that pack of swimmers as they try and catch a little bit of draft, because once they hit that bike, there is no drafting allowed.
Off the front, not surprisingly, super swimmer Sarah McClarty, right to her side, Lauren Brandon. Stroke for stroke, all that's separating them is that lane line and the end of a pool, if you will. Look at them go.
Absolutely, she is not going to let her out of her sight.
Leading the race right now, McClarty and Brandon. There'll be lots more action to come.
Brought to you by
Accenture.
Stride, official clothing supplier of the New York City Triathlon.
So Stride Athletic is a new brand. We've been that shirt that you get when you participate in an event, from bowl games to tennis events, golf events, and the Panasonic New York City Triathlon. We're debuting our brand at this year's race. We wanted a brand that spoke to a customer that wanted to stand out. We expect to see an awful lot of people running the race, wearing our gear this weekend, and we couldn't be happier.
We'll be back with more Panasonic New York City Triathlon action after this. Welcome back to the 2014 Panasonic New York City Triathlon. Back at the swim start as our men anxiously await the introductions down to the start barge. You know they want to get going, but that equalizer time difference is not quite there.
That's right, and when they get down to the swim start pontoon and they look down that course, they're going to notice the women are already out of sight.
No doubt. There's our past champ, Jordan Jones. We saw Cam Dye, series champ last year. Proud Columbia Lion Ben Collins knows how to win in New York. If he can win here, he can win anywhere.
Yeah, he's going to be looking to bring back that trophy this year. It was hard to give it up last year.
There they are. They're called to the start. They're going to be underway any second.
You can see it's a lot bigger field than the women's professional group, so they are going to be pushing and shoving for the best line. While we anxiously await the start of our men's pro field, let's meet a couple of our competitors.
My name's Cam Dye. I'm from Boulder, Colorado. 2-time defending Lifetime Series champ, 2-time defending USAT Athlete of the Year.
Michael Poole, New Zealand, currently 3rd in Lifetime Series.
Ben Collins. I grew up in Seattle, a 2011 New York City Triathlon champion.
Jordan Jones. I'm from Golden, Colorado. 2-time defending New York City Triathlon champion. My goal is definitely to win. That's what I came here to do.
Hopefully get top 5.
Leading the series right now going into this race, so hopefully we can bang out another victory.
Looking at the start list, it's probably one of the most competitive races of the Lifetime Series so far this year.
There's a lot more money on the line, and that's brought some of the best short course triathletes around.
It's a class field, but my race strategy kind of lends itself to having the target on your back. Being a swim biker for myself, it's going to be definitely a challenge to get enough of a distance at the end of the bike to hold on for the run.
I'm 2nd in the Toyota Triple Crown. Even if I'm the 1st place male, I'm going to be running as hard as I can.
This is going to be my last year racing triathlon, and I definitely want to go out on top.
Triathlon has a huge luck component. You can do everything in preparation to make sure that luck plays the smallest role.
It's more of like every man for himself. There's no working together, really. It's definitely a battle out there.
There's so many people in New York, and if you're the person who won, you're the star not just for the day, but for the next year, you can hold that as your crown.
Just like with the women, we've got a great group of men assembled here. They're going to be battling it out first to the finish line, and they know the women are going to be 10 minutes and 42 seconds ahead of them. As you mentioned earlier, Vic, they can barely see them. They're thinking, really? This is it? They're going to be called to the start line. On their marks, and they're off. The men are underway, the pro race is underway, and the chase is on.
It's on, and the swim for these men is going to be almost half of what they would normally do in an Olympic distance race. For that reason, you're going to see them right on each other's heels as they come out of the water up here.
Unbelievable. You know, you can see the difference. We have about twice as many men racing as women. The churning of the water, you know there's contact taking place, whether it's intentional or not. The effort is to get out of the way as quickly as possible. The smarter racer will be as further out in the channel as possible, because I think that's where the most current there will be.
There's a little more current as you get further out in the channel, but then you also have a longer line to follow as you head back to the swim exit. So it's a risk you take, just like, who's this up front?
Cam Dye, well-known swim bike combo. He is our series champion from last year, a great racer with a ferocious swim bike combo. So he knows he's the stellar swimmer in this crowd. He's doing everything he can to push the pace as hard as possible.
And you can see his strategy is just to stay up front, even if it means wasting a little more energy. He wants that advantage coming out of the swim.
He's got 10:42 to make up, just like every other guy, and they cannot waste. This isn't about winning the men's title, which it is, of course. It's about catching the women. Right now, about a 2-body length there. That's probably Ben Collins right behind him. Another great swim bike combo. And just watch. You can see the track. You can just see the scenery behind them go by. If you're wondering how quick they're going, that gives you some sense of this. This is no lake swim. There go our girls, McClarty and Brandon, neck and neck. There's 5 of them. Man, there's Leisha Kay in the fancy outfit. Always easy to pick out of the crowd. One of our Wassner sisters. Too tough to pick which is which. We've got both of them out. A tight pack of women out. Again, the current, I think, kind of condenses the field a little bit. Not as much time to separate them a bit. And as we see our men getting a little bit of the back push from the current, pushing against our swim exit barge area.
Yeah, the water actually starts to eddy, and you can see he moved to the inside there, and it's definitely brought his advantage back by just a little. Wondering if that was just a little bit too much of a risk pushing out front for so long.
About a 700-meter run, so it's a swim, run, bike run here in New York City. Beautiful shot of transition. It's 2 different transitions. We've got the yellow transition where our athletes are right here. Czech athlete Radka Vodakova making her way out. For our pros, Vic, it's a much easier exit out of Riverside Park up onto the West Side Highway. For our age groupers, a little more congested. As our pro race begins to take shape, we're back up at the swim start with the more than 4,000 age group athletes who are here to race today. They will be walked down to the start barge. Time trials start 15 or so every 20 seconds. They'll be jumping in the water, and the conga line never ends until, of course, we get to the end of their transition group. First the yellow and then the red. A little different attitude you see among our age groupers as they hide their nervousness with a little more activity. There's one group jumping in, another one right behind them, and another behind them. These athletes, you can see, they come in all shapes and sizes, all types of attitudes. One thing they're all going to do is the Panasonic New York City Triathlon. There they go downstream. Again, that current building for them throughout the morning. I'm sure they're plenty happy with that. Thousands of spectators, family members, and friends in attendance.
The Panasonic New York City Triathlon features 4,000 athletes from all around the world, and each of them has a unique journey to the start line on the Hudson River. Ask any of these athletes, and they'd be happy to tell you the challenges and obstacles that are inherent to triathlon training. But for a few athletes, their stories are as inspirational as they are amazing. Later in the show, we'll meet Rick Nisbet. He lost over half his body weight. Ken and Steve McDonnell, twins who both recovered from near-death accidents. And Amy Dixon and Patty Collins, two paratriathletes whose friendship is stronger than any disability. But before we meet any of these amazing athletes, let's meet Carrie Epstein, the man who will keep them all safe at the start of the New York City Triathlon.
My name is Carrie Epstein. I'm the lifeguard director for the New York City Triathlon. And we provide life-saving services for the 1,500-meter swim. I like to refer to our team as the Navy SEAL of lifeguarding. A lot of them are also triathletes. A lot of the athletes have what I refer to as swim anxiety. We don't want to rescue anyone. We don't want to cut your day short. The majority of our guards really do their best to try to push you through to get through that swim so that way you could finish and continue on with your day. The best part about it is the camaraderie, the teamwork. Our athletes and our lifeguards kind of connect with each other. One thing I could definitely tell you is that the Hudson River is a tidal river. It creates a very fast swim for most of the swimmers. Sometimes, you know, you could really take just a couple of strokes here and there and kind of just float your way down and make your way towards the exit. It's definitely a scary body of water. You never know what's going to pop up, whether it be a piece of driftwood or a dead fish. This is the Hudson River, and we're in New York City, the heart of it all, so basically anything goes. If I could give swimmers one piece of advice, just relax. We're watching you. You're fine.
Brought to you by Dwayne Reed, your city, your drugstore. Reebok Sports Club New York, the official sponsor of the New York City Triathlon.
My name is Mary Grace Costello. I'm the swim instructor here at Reebok Sports Club New York. I have beginner athletes that come here, and I have experienced swimmers. The most important part during the swim is focusing on a comfortable breathing pattern and keeping your head down and not getting too nervous. Especially for New York City, it's a quick mile down the river with the current. Reebok Sports Club New York is the best sports club in the city. It's a one-stop place where they can train for all three legs of the race, the swim, the run, the bike.
We'll be back with more Panasonic New York City Triathlon action after this.
The Panasonic New York City Triathlon is so much more than just a one-day event. Other events held before the start of this year's race included the famous Diaper Derby. Known as the slowest 2 minutes in sports, the Diaper Derby pitted baby against innocent baby in a brutal competition where infants must crawl 10 feet towards their beckoning parents. Then later on, New Yorkers from all corners of the city abandoned their constraints of their constrictive clothing and converged upon Central Park for the annual Underwear Run, where 500 of the bravest of the brave stripped down to their skivvies, all to run for fun while letting it all hang loose. Also happening before the race is the Dwayne Reed Sports and Fitness Expo, where athletes come to pick up their packets and attend race briefings. The expo features dozens of industry exhibits showcasing the latest and greatest in endurance sports gear.
Here we are back at the men's pro race as they just exit the waters of the Hudson down at 79th Street. Cam Dye out, Kevin Everett, Ben Collins. The race continues on land.
And the information we're just getting from our timers is that the pro men have only gained a minute out of that equalizer on the pro women. So not much gained on the swim. The bike is really where it's going to be determined.
Out at the front of the race right now, here is Alicia Kay. This is the very best strength of her race. She is a great cyclist. She'll have the fastest ride of our women today, and she's riding like she's possessed, knowing that there are men chasing behind her.
And they're going to have to stay focused because the rain is just now starting to fall, making this road so slippery and even more technical.
And here come our men into transition. Watch how quickly they switch from swim to bike. Their shoes are already in the pedals, the helmets come on, they're gonna strip off those speedy speed suits, and they're underway. Our men are heading out onto the bike course.
And the men chasing the women is just one of the many races going on today. We also have the Accenture Challenge Athletes International Championship. That includes so many inspirational stories of challenge athletes from around the world competing with us today.
I need more coffee. Okay, ready? Yeah. I am racing as a visually impaired athlete in the New York City Triathlon with a guide, and that will be Patty Collins. Really didn't understand how this was going to work initially because she has one leg. She's world champion. She's set their world record for a half Ironman, so I'm in really, really good hands.
Well, we swim. We each have a waist belt that's attached to each other, and then we ride a tandem bicycle.
I trust that she's going to keep me safe.
Get out of my way, that's my chair, sweetie.
Why, am I blind or something?
We move as one athlete as opposed to two individuals.
I think it's almost an advantage because you have the coach running next to you.
So 2016 is the first time that para-triathlon is a contested Olympic sport. Amy and I are both on a pretty fast road to compete and represent the United States.
New York City is unlike any other race. Crowd is amazing.
Run through Central Park is a really special place for us.
There's no reason you can't do this. I know a guy who has literally one arm and no legs who's out there and he's a hand cyclist.
Don't give up on your dreams. It may not be the normal route to accomplish them, but they're still certainly attainable. I'm Patty Collins.
And I'm Amy Dixon, and we are running the New York City Triathlon as a team of para-triathletes.
Amy and Patty are just a couple of the incredible athletes participating with us today as a part of the Accenture Challenge Athletes International Championship.
The Accenture International Championship is the only prize for physically disabled athletes in the United States. We're actually very proud to support this race. We've been a long-time supporter of the New York City Triathlon, and to be able to partner with the Challenge Athlete Foundation to create a first-ever program is very special. We have about 40 challenge athletes participating in the race from the United States, Canada, and Mexico. In addition to the challenge athletes, we have about 35 handlers. These are athlete handlers who assist the challenge athletes in every component of the race, from the swim start to the exit to the bike. New York City Triathlon is a great opportunity for physically disabled athletes. It's a first class A program. We treat them like rock stars from the very beginning. They start the race through a special briefing all the way through the special wave. Accenture is committed to the physically disabled community and working with challenge athletes to make a physically disabled program the best it can be.
Brought to you by Cliff Bar. Nutrition for sustained energy. Get ready to meet the moment.
Providing orthopedic care to the greater New York City area, Manhattan Orthopedic and Sports Medicine Group.
The secret to great training and racing is all about staying healthy. The New York City Triathlon has a great partner in Manhattan Orthopedic and our friend, Dr. Mark Cleon.
We're a group of 6 orthopedic surgeons that have been providing care for the New York City Triathlon for approximately the last 7 years. So we comprise a group now of over 90 healthcare workers that we've had as volunteers to come and help us out at the race. I bring to the table a wealth of experience in terms of my own racing. I live what I teach, and certainly having lived some of my own injuries, I have a great understanding and possibly a better aspect on how to treat some of these athletes and their injuries.
We'll be back with more Panasonic New York City Triathlon action after this. Welcome back to the Panasonic New York City Triathlon. A quick halfway race recap earlier this morning on the Hudson. Our women in today's race, part of the Lifetime Triathlon Series, of course featuring the Toyota Triple Crown and that all-important bonus pool, 50 grand to the person, be paid out in Oceanside in October. Our women got off this morning, Vic, with a 10-minute and 42-second lead.
They did. They were flying down the Hudson, but hot on their heels was the men's pro field. They were only able to make up about a minute of time out of that equalizer, so the rest of the race was going to have to be made up out on the bike course.
When we last left the race, Alicia Kay with the lead for the ladies, and Cameron Dye and Ben Collins were racing out of transition out onto the West Side Highway. Let's get up to the highway for the action right now.
Alicia Kay making her way up the west side, just out of transition only by a couple miles. You can actually see the boats out there. She's right across from the swim start as the men are hot on her heels.
Now, if the pass is any indicator of what's happening today, Alicia Kay, the most dominant cyclist in this field, she'll outsplit her competition by 3 minutes or so. She's riding just a little less than maybe 24 miles an hour. The guys, on the other hand, are upwards 26, 27 average. At times hitting probably 40 miles an hour on some of these hills.
Each of these athletes is really playing to their strength. Obviously, Alicia Kay's is out on the bike, but we have some really strong runners. So maybe a few more athletes conserving on the bike, knowing they can make up ground once they hit Central Park.
How do you go all out, Vic, when you know that you have to reserve some energy? This Toyota Triple Crown equalizer format allows no strategy except 100%.
Absolutely. Speaking of strategy here, who do I pass? Do I pass or be passed?
This just in from our race spotters. We've just found out that Cam Dye, racer number 1, our pre-race favorite and a guy that's tough to beat. He's out of the race with a flat tire. He is no longer in the race. That changes the strategy entirely.
This is a huge race upset, and this is definitely going to change the strategy for our other male pros.
You know, these athletes, they participate not only in this race, it's also the Lifetime Triathlon Series, the Toyota Triple Crown. Let's take a look at the season standings so far. Going into today's race, here's our Lifetime Series standings. Alicia Kay doing a great job maintaining that lead over Sarah Haskins and Hella Fredrickson, neither of whom are racing. Radka Vodakova in the field and also Jillian Peterson, so we expect with good performances, they'll be sneaking up the standings just a bit after today's race.
On the men's side in the Lifetime Tri-Series standings, Cameron Dye has a commanding lead, but he's out. He's not racing today. He's got a flat tire, and that opens up the field wide open to Ben Collins to move on up into the lead. So you know Ben has his eye right on that podium spot. We've also got Michael Poole, Greg Bennett, a past champion here at the New York City Triathlon, and Brooks Cohen looking to make a move as well.
Our professional field is in today's race for the points that they can get, the prize money that they earn. It's their job. For others, it's a part of a very long journey, one that they're very proud of.
Back in 2007, I started on a course to change my life. A lot of people said, oh, you can't do a 10K, and I did it. I can't do a half, I did it. Do a marathon, did it. They used to ask me the best place to eat. Now they ask me for exercise advice. I lost a total of 213 pounds, and now I'm gonna do my first Olympic. Bottom line is, you need to be honest with yourself. Make small, attainable goals. Are you gonna have your good days and your bad days? Absolutely. You know, I get excited like a little kid on Christmas. I wake up like super early in the morning and I can't wait to do it. If that ever goes away, then I'll stop. Right now, I'm living the moment. New York is always New York. What better way to do your first Olympic is than on the biggest stage. Go big or you go home. You're never too old to do this. It's what you find inside of you. Whatever dream you have, pursue it and never look back.
Brought to you by Xterra Wetsuits, the fastest, most buoyant wetsuits. Animal Medical Center, advanced treatment, research, education, and devotion since 1910.
Medical Center is sponsoring the Doggy Dash here at the NYC Triathlon today. It's a 5-mile race with owners and their pets. And we've been doing it for the past 7 years here at the Triathlon. We're very proud and honored to be here and love this race. It's a great experience for both our runners, the staff that volunteers, and of course the pets. I mean, dogs are very active. Around us we have dogs of all sizes participating in this race. So it's such a good thing for the human-animal bond, and running is a great form of exercise for our pets.
We'll be back with more Panasonic New York City Triathlon action after this. Welcome back to the Panasonic New York City Triathlon. Our men's race leader, Ben Collins, is off the bike and into transition. He knows that our pro women are ahead of him right now. Alicia Kay, Radka Vodakova, these are our two athletes he's got to chase down to the finish line.
Well, that's only 2 women now out in front of the pro men. All the other professional women have been caught by some of our other pro men now chasing Ben Collins.
Yeah, 6 or 7 minutes is about the gap that was cut out of the bike course. We talked about it earlier. We knew that that's where most of the work for the guys was going to come from, but now he's still got to run like the wind. He's got 6 miles to get to the finish line first.
And you can see he is flying out of transition. Those are a lot of our amateurs just now finishing their swim, coming into transition.
And there he goes, run, Ben, run.
Some more of our pro women coming in, knowing that they don't have a shot now at beating the men for that bonus pool.
There's Sarah McClarty, one of our early swim leaders, heading out there. This is the Toyota Triple Crown. This is the Lifetime Series. There's a lot going on. Our first view on the run of Alicia Kay. She's got about a 3-minute lead. Vodakova, she's just right in between the two of them and is doing everything that she can to stay as far out in front as possible.
Well, and I know we talked about the bike course being really challenging, but this run is not any easier. Central Park is never flat. They had a flat run across 72nd Street from Riverside Park, but that was it. Rolling hills from here to the finish line.
As we see Ben Collins, he had a 3-minute deficit coming out of transition. At this point, he's taking about 30 seconds off each mile. That would lead it to a run down the finish line. Another great run there for Caleb Van Oort. These guys are running as fast as they can, knowing the finish line is the ultimate destination.
Alicia's just going to have to stay focused and keep turning over those legs if she wants to keep her podium spot.
The performances of our professional field are way above average. In our age group competition, there are athletes out here who are happy to be average, happy to be the everyman, a guy like Russ Fink.
My name is Russell Fink, and I'm a triathlete. Every year for as long as I can remember, I've watched the Hawaii Ironman on TV. You know what? Instead of watching it on my couch, wouldn't it be better to go do it? I never really knew how to swim or bike, so I signed up for a gym with a pool, learned how to blow bubbles. From not really knowing how to ride a bike to going clipless, it's a baby step process. And then I kind of fell in love with triathlons ever since then. It's a cliche, but if I can do it, anyone can do it. As a born and raised New Yorker, New York is just a great place for a race. It's right in the city. Run in Central Park, you can swim in the Hudson River, or you can bike on the Upper West Side. It just has all those different elements that just makes, everything about New York great. The triathlon's bigger than yourself. It's not just about you or your teammates or the other people doing the triathlon. It's also about your families who support you when you're waking up at 4 a.m. to go swimming. When I cross the finish line, I can't wait to see my wife and my son and my daughter. Without them, you couldn't get started. Team Awesome is a group of me and 2 other people who are all relatively new to triathlons. We all try and meet our goals together. I'd like to break a personal record. This year especially is a year I've put some extra training into it. We'll see, we'll see. If I could go from sitting on my couch in my mid-20s without knowing how to swim or ride a bike and suddenly doing multiple triathlons a year, it's one of those things anyone can do it.
Brought to you by Muscle Milk, the official recovery drink of the New York City Triathlon.
Janice, the official asset manager of the New York City Triathlon.
The Janice Peak Performance Challenge is a competition within the competition. We give our athletes the opportunity to compete against each other within this race. Members of the financial services industry, they're given VIP treatment during the race, and it's an opportunity for them competing against their peers to possibly win $1,000 to the charity of their choice.
It was an awesome day. It's nothing like racing in one of the best cities in this entire world. A little rainy out there, but it kept you cool, and it was just so fun.
We'll be back with more Panasonic New York City Triathlon action after this.
We are back on course here at the 2014 Panasonic New York City Triathlon, and with less than a mile to go, the catch was made. Ben Collins passed Alicia Kay, and he is racing all the way to the finish line. It's not just about the catch, it's about getting as much time as he possibly can to maintain his dominance in the Toyota Triple Crown.
Ben Collins, our winner today in New York, and it's on to Oceanside, 50 grand of the fastest. A great race for Ben, a big win for the Columbia Lions. He always enjoys leading them with their theme song at the awards ceremony. Look at that. A very happy athlete working all the way. And hey, a hat tip to Alicia Kay. She led this race for all but the final half mile. An important win solidifies her spot at the top of the standings. And you know what? She may give Ben a hug, but you know what? It's on in Oceanside, my friend. Congratulations to both of our winning athletes today. On the men's side, Ben Collins, Alicia Kay. Top of the standings heading out of New York City. Here with our winner of the Panasonic New York City Triathlon, Ben Collins. This winning thing, you're kind of getting the hang of it, aren't you?
Oh my God, it feels good to have a good season. Luck is on my side this year. It's really just, you can do all the preparation in the world, but until you have a lucky season, you're just spinning your wheels.
Ben Collins, our winner today, setting up for a great race in Oceanside in October. Good luck, Ben.
Thank you.
You know, as we spoke with Ben, the original concept of triathlon is that it was time trial all the way. You put the hammer down. Do you ever let up out there?
Absolutely not. I love pain. Pain is like, that's how I win races, and I think it's not necessarily that I'm fitter than people. I always say that I just out-pain people. And I think that's what time trial triathlon's all about, is just putting your best effort out from the gun and crossing the finish line knowing that there's nothing else you had to give.
A women's winner and a great second place, Alicia Kay. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
We knew it was going to be a compelling race, Dave, when we saw which athletes came to that starting line this morning. Some of the top professionals in the world.
Well, the Toyota Triple Crown and the Equalizer, that 10-minute, 42-second head start for the women, it just automatically guarantees you're going to have a great race. And how well did our handicapper set up that? Ben Collins, with like a half a mile to go, he pushed all the way to the end, but it's not over. Alicia Kay is right there, Ben Collins right there. They got about a 10-second gap going into Oceanside. A great race in the Lifetime Triathlon Series. Both of them, Alicia Kay again saying, hey, knock me off the top if you want. I don't think you can. And Ben saying, hey, Cam Dye, here I come, right?
That's right. This battle is not over. It's going to continue through the fall in Oceanside. And what a race here today in New York City.
And as we take a quick look at the men's series after our race here in New York, Ben Collins indeed jumps above Cam Dye. Not by a lot, but being on top is a good place to be.
It sure is, but Cameron Dye, he had a flat. He wasn't able to finish today's race. You know he's going to come back fighting.
Alicia Kay, dominant at the top, Vic. Who could beat her?
I don't know. I don't think anybody can at this point. I think it's hers to win.
And finally, an all-important look at the standings of our Toyota Triple Crown. Ben Collins, by virtue of a great race all the way to the finish line, he's got a 25-second lead going into the final at the end of October in Oceanside.
That's right. That means Alicia Kay, if she wants to take this $50,000, she has got to make up just over 24 seconds. I think she can do it, though.
We'll find out soon enough.
And yet another inspirational story.
I'm
Ken McDonald, Steve's twin brother. I was gravely injured in a bicycle car accident. And I was in an accident about 6 months before Ken. I don't remember 2 or 3 weeks after. We've suffered other similar physical injuries over the years, broken bones, bad sprains at about the same time. So in a way, it didn't surprise us. Every year we compete in triathlon. To think that we wouldn't be able to share this kind of experience in the future was terribly shocking. I kept telling Ken, you'll be back. I knew that he could do it if I could do it. My goal for the race tomorrow is to finish without completely falling apart. Wear your helmet. Yeah. Religiously. Yeah. Saved my life. Good luck tomorrow there, Kenny. I'll be following you. I'm Steve McDonald. I'm doing the New York City Triathlon tomorrow for my 13th time. And I'm doing the New York City Triathlon for about my 7th time.
Another happy finisher in Ken McDonald. Welcome to the finish line, Ken. It's been a long journey for you, hasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I was here 4 years ago and several times before that. I recovered from a terrible bicycle accident back in 2007, and I'm just thrilled and honored to be back here in New York. This is the best race in the country as far as I'm concerned. I've done Westchester, I've done Alcatraz, and this is like home.
One plus one equals 2 very happy athletes, Amy Dixon and a Panasonic New York City Triathlon in the books. Share with us your thoughts.
This was an amazing day. Talk about the stars aligning. It was beautiful weather. I mean, we had rain, we had sun, but the weather stayed cool. The course was fast, and everybody was so supportive out there and cheering us on every single mile. There's no other crowd like New York City.
Brought to you by Accenture. Janus, the official asset manager of the New York City Triathlon. We'll be back with more Panasonic New York City Triathlon action after this.
Epic day here at the finish line in New York City. The sun is out and the finishes are coming in fast. We've had nearly 4,000 athletes competing. We've had inspirational stories and a nail-biter pro finish alike.
Our early swim leader, Cam Dye, you know, he was set up for a great race today, but out on that bike course, the flat, all of a sudden, it's Alicia Kay holding the lead all the way through past the 5-mile mark, less than a mile to go. Ben Collins proves, like he did in Minneapolis, it's not over till you hit that finish line tape, wins today's race, takes a very slim lead into the final race of the Toyota Triple Crown, and it's all going to end up in Oceanside. Right. Alicia Kay versus Ben Collins, but who knows who else in it. It was an unbelievable day at every aspect of the race.
It absolutely was. It was truly an epic finish, like we said, and it's been a great day here in New York City. Dave, thanks so much. On behalf of Dave Ragsdale, I'm Victoria Brumfield, and we'll see you next year in the Hudson.
Brought to you by Accenture.
Stride, official clothing supplier of the New York City Triathlon. Muscle Milk, the official recovery drink of the New York City Triathlon.
Janus, the official asset manager of the New York City Triathlon.
Xterra wetsuits, the fastest, most buoyant wetsuits. Animal Medical Center, advanced treatment, research, education, and devotion since 1910. Cliff Bar, nutrition for sustained energy. Get ready to meet the moment.
Providing orthopedic care to the greater New York City area, Manhattan Orthopedic and Sports Medicine Group. Reebok Sports Club New York, the official sponsor of the New York City Triathlon. Dwayne Reed, your city, your drugstore.